Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
But I'm not aware of anything quite like this, in which you've got a special counsel going after the sitting president for being too old and having a faulty memory. That is, he's come up with a clever way to get those adjectives in there by saying, well, if I brought this case to trial, this is what I would face. It just doesn't feel like that's doing the work, and it feels like a, too clever move by the special counsel to try and take some swipes at a sitting president.
My 2016 PTSD has been triggered, and I think I was the first one in the country to start yelling, "This is what Comey did to Hillary!" at the television yesterday. What were your thoughts?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. And at the end of the day, too, what we can also surmise is we have a lot of MAGA still left in very powerful positions.
Amen.
Because what they made sure to do was try to equivocate this situation to the mess that's going down in Mar-a-Lago. Mm-hmm. And that is on purpose. And if I were Joe Biden, I would send out a heat-seeking missile to talk about, we don't do that.
Yeah. This is why I'm saying it always bites us in the ass, that we have to be overly fair and overly transparent. And, it's got to be not just a Republican to investigate Biden. First of all, there didn't even need to be a special counsel for this. We all knew that there was no there. So, but they not just a Republican, a Trump appointed political hack.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. There's good news in this. The good news is that Merrick Garland didn't get on the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
That's the good news. Okay, because Merrick Garland is a jerk. He just is. And this so-called special prosecutor, this is the thing. All the things that happen in this report about the documents and Biden, all of the things that he asserts are not things that he has any actual ability to assert. He's not a doctor. He's not a geriatric specialist. He's not a memory specialist.
Yeah.
He's not any of those things. And none of them have to do with any of what he's there for. And the ridiculousness of saying the only reason we're not prosecuting is because he's a sympathetic plaintiff or defendant, and we're afraid that we couldn't overcome, even with all the evidence in the world, the sympathetic defendant. Oh, and by the way, there is no evidence because he didn't do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what this report is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah. And even said, even if he weren't president, we wouldn't prosecute him because there's no evidence. Right. That's all you need to say. The rest of it is just, bold opinions and I literally, when I first heard, I couldn't believe, I said, are you kidding me? The number one political vulnerability they've been pounding for 2 years. Really? That's this report, is that he's old. Right? I mean, it's... Mm-hmm.
Taken straight from the mouth of Trump.
Exactly.
Yeah. And unnecessary. Just, this is the thing about the MAGAs. If you have a moment where you forget that the cruelty is the point, then something like this brings you right back to it. To bring up his son's death,
the cruel.
That is zero place in the court. There is absolutely no, even if some part of that were true, it has nothing to do with documents. Like, it is absolutely a gratuitous, it's the kind of thing that he should be sanctioned for. Mm-hmm. Like, if not fired. I don't understand why, because this report got approved before it got released on some level.
I think you're right that this is like a series of mistakes, Angela, that, in my opinion, that Merrick Garland has made, that now I don't know how as Jody was saying, now what do you do? Now it's this... First of all, special counsel we had to bend over backwards, had to be a Trump-appointed hack, had to be a Republican. So now, the law is he has to release a report, but Merrick Garland didn't need to release it. He has to give it to Garland. He is required by law
edited.
But now you're like, okay, so now you've released it. So now, and now if Biden fires you, oh my God, that's going to be seen as, or if they did redactions, that would be seen as a cover up. Right?
No. Let me tell you something. I am so sick and tired of what it looks like.
Yeah.
On our time, our energy, and what have you. Get rid of him. He is not sufficient.
Let's Black Mama
has been below what we have.
Thank you. let's Black Mama this. You know what Black Mama doesn't worry about? How it's going to look.
Yeah.
Black Mama will snatch your butt in the mall in front of everybody and correct your behavior. She does not care. People can look at her and gasp and clutch their pearls all they want. But what they're not going to do is interfere because they know Black Mama's right. We need to Black Mama the Justice Department. That's what I'm hearing and seeing.
I'm sorry. It's just Black Mom on the Mall just was okay.
Yes.
There's some clip I'm watching.
know exactly what she's talking about.
No, there's some, I don't know what show it is. I was watching, in my insomnia last night,
Right.
clips of, I'm not sure even what film this is, but it's a Black mama getting her kid off the bus, and the white ladies are like, oh, but the Black mama's like, and it's exactly what you just said. They're all like, oh, okay.
Back off.
But they didn't stop her.
No, they did not.
Nope. You ain't getting involved.
Because you know better.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. Now we're at a point, and then I said to Jody, wasn't Merrick Garland say something? Because now you can't win.
Right.
Like now, it's like it's so up
You
at
gotta
this
get
point.
over that.
Right. Like, but what does he say? I mean, I said I think he needs to resign. He needs to apologize to Biden and resign, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. But he shouldn't have gotten there in the first place. Like this person is a partisan hack. Merrick Garland. He was a compromise pick that Obama made to Mitch McConnell to try to get somebody on the court that wasn't horrible. And then Mitch McConnell.
This is what comes of appeasing them in the first place. You're right. This was to appease McConnell, right? And now Merrick Garland to appease the MAGA lunatics.
That's
Let
what
me
I'm
appoint
saying.
a right-wing Trump-appointed hack so that I look fair.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Can you appease a Black mama?
No, you can't.
Can you, when you've done something wrong, be like, well, what if I clean up half my room?
No.
Can you?
No.
At least it's not 11 days before the election that, we're far enough out. And you know what I was feeling like, too? Just the rage I'm feeling from you guys, from callers, from, on social media. I mean, I hope that this has the same kind of galvanizing effect for our side that, apparently Trump being an indicted crook has on their side. I mean, I think us feeling like Biden's being unfairly attacked, it feels to me like it's galvanizing people.
We were talking about January 6th. We were talking about the worst attack on our nation's capital and on our Constitution in since the Civil War or the 1812 people, but really since the Civil War. But now we're talking about Biden's age again. And it's stupid. Like, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's not equivalent. There is no equivalency between having a discussion, an ageist discussion about the president and 91 indictments of a sexual assaulter.
Yeah.
Who's only 3 years younger.
Thank you. And confuses things every single day. What would he say yesterday? First of all, he admitted it was an insurrection, so thank you.
That.
He said, I think it was an insurrection caused by Nancy Pelosi. This was an insurrection. If it was an insurrection in which there were no guns, there was no anything except they shot Ashley Babbitt. Right, several January 6th of defendants have admitted in court to carrying guns in the Capitol. Like everything.
Him knowing there were guns.
Right.
Yeah, he knew.
Right. Yeah. And by the way, he did not just confuse Nancy Pelosi and Nikki Haley once. He did it several times.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And not only did he know that there were guns, he told them to take down
the Magna.
the
Magnetron thing.
Top mags.
Yeah.
Take away the mags. They're not here to hurt me.
Right.
They're not here to hurt me.
Yeah. Did you have any thoughts watching Clarence Thomas seem very uncomfortable about the subject of January 6th?
He shouldn't have been in the room. He should not have been in.
I agree.
Butter Biscuit should not have been in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wasn't a lot because he kept having to go take biscuits out of the oven, which I thought was good that they didn't take breaks.
Right.
For that.
Right.
I thought it was a little weird when he went on that little diatribe on why you do need to use Crisco, and that milk and butter just aren't, that Crisco's the only real buy. He's right, but it's like, it didn't really seem to have a place in this discussion.
Can I just say, as much biscuit-related knowledge as I've learned from you, Frangela, Malcolm Nance did fill in. I did not, you have not previously told me that it was specifically a butter biscuit that the house slaves would be bribed with to snitch out the other slaves.
Freshly churned.
Yeah.
Freshly churned.
Yes, and so that's why
Beaten
Malcolm
by
Nance
black
refers
child
to
butter.
Tim Scott as a butter biscuit. Pardon me?
Beaten by black child butter. It's delicious.
Okay.
Easy
Let's...
buy black tie.
Oh wait, Jody's neighbor's on the phone. Hey, Richie, it's for you, Jody. Hi, Richie. Jody's neighbor. Hi.
Hi, Jody. Well, thank you for taking my call. I still need to get your husband pictures of the car in my driveway. But
okay.
I was going
Could
to
you do
say,
this at the Piggly Wiggly community calendar meeting, or?
Oh wow.
You take in your trash bins.
Okay, all right. He has a recycling issue with you or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, maybe we could do this at another time. Okay, let's go to Faye in Chicago.
That's hilarious.
You're on with Frangela.
Hi, I love you guys, and I agree Garland needs to resign. But, Steph, there's something else driving me crazy.
What's that?
This Supreme Court, these justices have a very short memory because one state did decide an election.
Yep.
A Bush Gore.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Not only did they stop the counts, but one of the justices, Sandra, I don't remember the...
Sandra Day O'Connor. Yeah.
Yes. She threw out 30,000 votes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, who helped with all that? Brett Kavanaugh at the time.
And
yeah.
John Roberts.
Oh, and right, John Roberts. And I can't remember which one, Amy Coney, what do you call it?
Amy Coney Island?
Yes, right.
Yeah, Amy Coney Island was there too.
Sorry, I don't... Pardon me, go ahead.
One of the things that's been talked about...
Go, Angela, I'm sorry.
There's one of the things that's been talked about a lot that I actually think brings up a point that is worth talking about with the Supreme Court is the fact that the lawyer for Colorado had worked for two of the justices. And that just reminded me of this with Kavanaugh having worked and Roberts having worked. This is a rarefied group of people. And we really need to ask ourselves if the highest court in the land, that's an actual third branch of our government, should really be such a sorority. Should really be, and how is that representative of the vast number of people in this country and of what is good for most of the people in this country when this group of people is so small that they all end up knowing each other at that level? I was struck by how outside of our hands and how weirdly what is the word? Just how weirdly privileged all of this is.
Yeah. Can I just say the other thing? One thing we did learn, Ketanji Brown Jackson is a rock star. As a lot of experts were saying, you just think, imagine if we had a few of her, versions of her on the court instead of these,
She polite. Gorsuch and Alito, they are just awful.
Yeah.
They are the rudest, most obnoxious. I was like, oh, you are embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but you know what? This is what's important. The reality is we are seeing these people, our laws in action. We're hearing. See, this is their problem. Is now I'm listening to you. I'm paying attention to America is paying attention to what you think and what you do, right? And we are also now being aware, hopefully, civically, that these are the people who are running your world. This worldview is making decisions about your body, who you can marry, what you have access to, what schools you get to go to, whether or not, the company you work for has DEI or not.
And they're blatantly partisan and choosy about when states' rights are important.
Yep.
Thank you. We couldn't possibly intervene in this situation if a state wants to take away a woman's rights. Like, we can't intervene in that, but we can intervene in her rights, and we can they all up in my uterus talking about, well, we'd like to know our place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't bought me dinner. What you doing in there?
And here's the thing is I just don't, I wish I had total confidence. I know a lot of the legal experts are saying this is a slam dunk on immunity and they're not going to hear it. I just don't know that they won't, give Trump an assist by, giving him delay, which is the thing that he wants, even if they take it. And they're arrogant enough to go, we might, they might have to say, we have to take it. We're the Supreme Court. We got to put our stamp on this, and gives him, in effect, immunity by delaying this.
Each one of us, each American has to sit there and ask themselves, what does that mean to me? Because that's not the country I was told I live in.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I will be in these streets.
Thank
I
you.
am sick and tired
Thank
of
you.
these people just railroading my singular vote over and over and over again, as if it's okay. I won't do anything. But let me tell you something. I'm not Boo Boo the Fool.
Up in here?
Up in here.
Okay.
And I will get it. Because this is the problem right now that we're having right now. Is that we can't call what happened on January 6th an insurrection because we didn't lose our minds.
Yeah.
We didn't act a fool.
I love Kataji. Didn't you love it when she said, so it's not an insurrection because it was chaotic?
Yeah.
Like, they had meetings. We had meetings with documentarians in the basement of a parking garage. Like, this is the thing. They run, like we said this on the final word. A lot of this has to do with this fear of what might happen. How about we be afraid of what is happening? How about we afraid of, they already have interfered with the peaceful transfer of power. They've already tried. They just failed to have an we're not worried that they're going to go out in the street and be violent. They have been in the streets and are in the streets being violent.